Hi, everybody. It's John, and I'm the Grumpy Grandpappy, and you're watching Lessons from a Grumpy Grandpappy. Hey, today's video is going to be about your first time out. Okay, it's your first time. And by that, I mean you're leaving for college, your first apartment, or you've graduated from college and you've got your first job and you're leaving home, you're getting your own apartment, you're moving in with somebody, you're fortunate enough maybe to get a house, rent the house, buy a house. But either way, you're going out on your own. And there's a lot to discover when you get on your own. I'll never forget, both my kids were the first time they ever got their own places. My son in Massachusetts, he called me from Massachusetts. He goes, "Hey, Dad, do you know they charge you to turn the electric on and they turn the cable TV on?" It was, yeah, oh, wow. "Hey, Dad, when do I call for oil?" "When you need it." He thought things just magically appeared. Now all of a sudden you're got to do this on your own. So there's all of that, and then you realize you got to pay deposits on electricity, your phone, your cable. You got to put up a few bucks sometimes up front. So it's a big eye-opening experience for the first time out. Another big experience first time out is, where do I get things I need? Dishes, glasses, flatware, bowls, towels, things like that. It's not like the TV commercial with the I shouldn't have used the store brand, or they're serving a 5-pound thing of macaroni on a paper plate and it dumps it all over someone's lap. Why would anybody do that? Let's grow up, people, and have real glass plates. Who eats off paper plates like that? If you do, I'm not going to go any further. Anyway, so give you an example. If you're lucky enough to have grandparents or an Auntie Rose or an aunt or uncle that you're close to, let me tell you something. When you're my age, we've lived through the poultry, the apples, the plane, and whatever other theme they've come up with over the last 50 years. And that by that I mean, I'll give you an example. In the 70s and 80s, the grocery stores, Stop and Shop did it. Finest did it when they were open. A couple of these grocery stores, they used to have promotions every couple of years. And for every $10 of groceries you bought, you got a free dinner plate. It'd be a set of dinnerware. And one year was ducks, one year was apples, one year was just, they called it ironware, which was just a plain beige plate with a brown rim around it. But anyway, if for every $10 you got a free dinner plate, and they ran it for an 8-week promotion. So the first week was dinner plates, second week was salad plates, third week was cereal bowls, fourth week was cup and saucer. Then they'd repeat it so people could get it. Because back then, if you spent $50 on groceries, you were buying a ton of groceries. Not like today where you get a half a bag and you walk out. And they gave you something for shopping there. So, and then at the end of the 8 weeks, they'd run another month where you could get caught up on pieces you missed. You'd have to pay a little bit more, or maybe a couple dollars a plate or something. They'd have different serving bowls, serving platters, and things like that, so you can complete your set. So, like I say, being married, I've been married 43 years this year, and over the course of being married, it went from the like I say, ducks were popular one time, then a couple of years later, we got to go to the apples. The ducks got put in a box in the storage room, and then it went from the apples to the ironware. So if you're like me or like my mother-in-law or your grandmother, grandparents, they probably have a box or two or three sitting in storage somewhere that waiting to be used. If you're like a good old Italian nonna, she probably has a hutch downstairs with all of it already in the hutch. But either way, go and ask and say, "Geez, I'm moving in my apartment. Is there anything you can help me with?" My niece came to us a couple years ago, and my wife sent me down to the storage area, and I came up with a whole box of flatware. Dishes. It was probably service for 8, plus some serving dishes. It was 2 boxes of dishes. That was cups, saucers, everything I just explained. Then my wife had she gets promotions all the time from different stores. Buy this, buy that, or you bought some furniture and come and get your free gift. And she had a couple packages of glasses, different size glasses. She gave them to her. They were like 8 water glasses, 8 stemless wine glasses, which everybody uses now. We gave her a 10-inch fry pan. I had a bunch of them. She gave her a couple baking dishes. We have 10 or 12. How many can we use? We're downsizing rather than upsizing. And then every nonna, or mom, as I call it, has a collection of dish towels, pot holders. Every holiday they give out 2 dish towels and 2 pot holders. Christmas, Valentine's Day, your birthday, Mother's Day, all year long. Say, Easter, the Italians, that's what they do. When Christmas tree shop was open, I think that's all they sold at one time. I don't know. But, so she got dishes, glasses. My mother-in-law gave her like 6 different pots and pans, from a 2-cup to 2-quart to a 10-quart pan. Some more baking dishes. The only thing we had to go out and buy her was my wife. We gave it to her as like a housewarming present. We bought her a service for 8 flatware set. Knives, forks, and spoons. I even had an extra set of knives in the wooden block. I gave her a whole set of knives, so she was all set. The only thing she asked, she said, I have to get some coffee mugs, and I said, wait. Now, everybody has one in your kitchen cabinet where you keep your coffee mugs. That top shelf way up on top, you got those 30 mugs you've been collecting for the last 2-3 years. Merry Christmas, world's best dad, world's best mom, world's best grandma, happy Valentine's Day, Easter. They're nice. We get them. You drink out of them, put them up in a cabinet, and you only have what do? You have your mug, your favorite mug, and you use that every day. The rest of them just sit up there. So we found some non-holiday mugs, some stuff we had bought traveling and different things. And we gave her about 8 coffee mugs. So if she has company, there's your coffee mug. Or if she doesn't wash a cup every day, she's got a couple mugs. So she started out really in good shape. And like I say, you have to go ask ask around. Ask your parents. Ask your grandparents if they're around. Like I say, if you have an Auntie Rose like my wife, she's got something in there. So there you go. That's how you get started. Okay, is it brand new? Is it, something that most people starting out don't care. It's like, hey, it's dishes. It's better than buying the store brand paper plates and having an incident. It's all good stuff. They eat off them at holidays, usually at the grandmother's basement or something anyway. So why not use it? And why go pay that money? Another good source, if you don't have, say you don't have grandparents or, an Auntie Rose who has all that, because some people do just throw it away or they tag sale it or whatever, go to a tag sale. This is perfect weather for tag sales. May, June, people are cleaning out their houses. Hit the tag sale. Hit the rummage shops in the churches and stuff. They always got sets of dishes, pots, pans, coffee pots, so pick them up. They're a lot cheaper. That's all I have today. It's just something to give you an idea of how to start out. We're doing some shopping. Food. I was talking about shopping, and it was mainly food, but this is shopping for other life's essentials, and you really need to get a start. And for the first time out, this is a great way to start. And as you build your life and you move on, you can go from your grandma's ducks to maybe your own set of flat dishes and whatnot after that. But I mean, to start out, no one's going to criticize you. And like I've said before, if your friends criticize it, get new friends, because they don't understand. All right, you don't have to go spend a ton of money. We furnished, like I say, my niece's apartment for almost nothing. We went to IKEA, I think it was, and we bought a $20 set of flatware for her. Okay, everything else we had, my mother-in-law had, my sister-in-law had. So everybody contributed, and now she's happy. And I kid her about it, having old people stuff. She goes, I love it. Yeah, she goes, and it had some meaning to her that we actually saved that. So that's all I have today. Shop around, ask around. Don't give up on your families, and stay in touch with your grandparents. You'll be surprised. They're a treasure trove of not only ideas and sayings and all that, but they've got a lot of stuff that you might want someday. Until we meet again, this is John, and you're watching Lessons of a Grumpy Grandpappy. I hope that was helpful. See you next time.